Well, there's a few reasons. They lack depth, they lack chemistry, they lack defense, and they lack roles. You know, you can't just put a team together, Skip, of talent and say, go out there and play and win us games. Talent is only going to win so many games until you get in a playoff situation.
Yeah.
But the biggest reason they lost was, damn it, Anthony Edwards. He took his game to the next level.
He did.
And for a young player at this age, at this stage, we haven't seen this in quite some time, especially going out sweeping a team that features Kevin Durant, Booker, three future Hall of Famers, I believe. And so the Suns have a lot to deal with this summer. They have to reevaluate and see moving forward where they're going to go. They have a high payroll. They don't have much flexibility. And you have to ask, how do they get better? But this was not a surprise. And before the season, I did have Phoenix going to the finals. I think
Keyshawn did also.
Yeah, you put the names together.
Oh, now you're shrugging it off?
No, I'm saying, yeah,
Okay.
When you say Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker on one team, but when you looked at them play, it was like I never knew who the guy was.
Yeah.
You know, one night KD would be the guy.
Yeah, I know.
The next night Booker. Like when you look at championship teams and you look at the teams like Denver Nuggets, Celtics, Minnesota, you know who's the guy.
Yeah.
And then you know, okay, this is the guy, this is 1B. With them, some days it's Kevin Durant, some days it's Booker, some days it's Beal. They never could figure that out throughout the course of the year, and that's why they struggled in the playoffs. So hopefully I don't know where they go from here. I don't know, do you trade KD? He's aging. How do you get better? You know, you have a young star in Booker. You know, Beal, he's not going anywhere. His contract has him there for the next 3. I don't know if you can get anything for Beal right now. He's dealt with a lot of injuries.
He has.
So, for them to get better next year, maybe you have to explore trading Kevin Durant. You know, an aging star.
We'll take him.
An aging star.
Would you?
And then y'all be the oldest team in the league.
We'll take him.
That still won't be enough. But, you know, I had them going to the finals, but that just goes to show you that names don't win in this league. I think you have to have the right chemistry and the right coaching and the right set of role players to win in this league. And they just didn't have it this year. So let's see what happens to them next year. But before then, there's a new kid on the block, and his name is Anthony Edwards. So be aware of him, NBA, and be aware of him, sports fans.
I think they are.
So when you look at the start of the season and when the trade was made, I picked them because, like Skip, like Paul said, what you gonna say? You got 3 dudes as perennial all-stars, you know, 2.5 possible Hall of Famers. What you gonna say? You gonna say, okay, it's just like saying, I'm gonna drop a young James Harden and a young KD and a young Westbrook, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna add LeBron James. Well, you expect for them to win a championship. Just like Miami, we expected when those 3 got together.
We did.
We was like, oh, yeah, they're going to win the championship immediately. They might win 9 in a row. We expected that. It didn't happen.
LeBron said they were going to win, remember?
And it didn't
not
happen.
7, not 8, not 9.
But we didn't look at what it takes, the chemistry, all the things. We didn't look at that. We look at the depth. We just looked at the names. And that's what happened with the Phoenix Suns.
Right.
Myself and Paul, we're not the only ones around the NBA circles that decided that the Suns was going to win it all until we start really looking at the roster and looking at the flaws in the roster and looking at, okay, they just drew the Minnesota Timberwolves. Size alone, they're in trouble. You know, length, they're in trouble.
During the season, they beat them 3 times, so you just thought, they had their number. They might just go ahead and roll over, but when you have to slow down and you really put a scouting report together, and you like, all right, this is their strengths and weaknesses. They prepare, and on the Minnesota behalf, they didn't have Karl Anthony Towns for some of them games, I believe.
No,
true.
No.
And so just
Cat came back.
Yeah, adding him to the mix really made a difference.
And so when you look at it now, Skip, and you say, okay, well, where do they go from here? Well, Devin Booker, you know how once players speak, they talking about something internally.
Yeah.
And now Devin Booker's basically pointing the finger. Now I don't want to say pointing the finger, but looking at the sideline and looking at upstairs and saying, well, you put us 3 together and you think we just going to go out here and play basketball like it's a pickup in the gym, pickup league or something in the gym, and it's not like that. We need to have some construction. We need to be coached up a certain way.
Well, he said details matter.
And details matter.
Yeah.
So who are you speaking to? Are you speaking to Frank Vogel?
Maybe.
If you're speaking to Frank Vogel, then that must you pointing the finger at him. So the clock is ticking, and the owner is not shy about making moves. Then he has no problem in doing that. And you also speaking to the general manager because of the depth, the moves that you made when you decided, okay, we're gonna get Kevin Durant, we're gonna sell the farm, then all of a sudden we're gonna go get Bradley Beal a year later, and we're gonna sell the farm.
Yeah.
And now you left with 3 guys and nothing else. And you're not going to win that way when you got a high-flying, young Anthony Edwards that's just ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
He dunked on, he yoked on Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant so cold. KD ducked and moved out the way.
That is true. I think he basically ducked and moved out of the way the whole fourth quarter, but that's just me. All right, so I did first guess this. I said they were going to miss CP3, maybe not the CP3, but a CP3.
Yeah.
They don't have a Mike Conley to set them up and organize them and make sure they're doing what they need to do when it really matters most. And I did not love the idea of telling Devin Booker, as great a scorer as he is, you got to wear 2 hats. You're going to have an identity crisis.
Too much consolidating
are you
between
the point guard or the scoring guard? I don't know. And last night he said, hell with point guard. I'm just going to score the hell out of it. And he went for 50, and he was spectacular.
Yeah.
And if you look at Kevin's numbers, for the game, I don't know how to argue with what he gave you, because he gave you 33 on 12 out of 17 shots. I mean, that's him, right? Isn't that what he does?
Yep.
Okay, and he also gave you 8 rebounds and
He gave you 5 assists. He did
9 rebounds and 5 assists.
I mean,
okay,
yeah, what more- I mean, what
you
more
couldn't
you want him
ask
to
for
do?
more except for in the fourth quarter.
Gave you 4 blocks.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay,
jeez.
but in the fourth quarter, Kevin Durant made 1 shot for 2 points, and his counterpart, the kid who grew up idolizing Kevin Durant, just went crazy in the fourth quarter with 16 points, right? Yeah. So the point was, Ant-Man in the fourth quarter, he had that quote the other night, he tries to kill everything that's in front of him, and he saw nothing but Phoenix Suns in front of him. He said, I'm going to kill all of you. I'm going to send you home. If my teammates don't want to do it, I'm going to do it, right? Okay.
It just
there may be
reminds
some of
me
that operating. I hate to even start with this
I'm
kid.
just saying, when I say remind, it wasn't like Michael and Kobe was just lights out from 3. But when they needed to pull the trigger,
whatever it was.
they knock it down at that time.
He has the it factor.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you look at teams that are going to win it, you need a player that has the it factor.
If we had him in the fourth quarter, we'd be up 3-1.
And I'm just not sure.
Think about it. Skip, if we had him in the fourth quarter, the Lakers would be up 3-1.
So are you saying you'd rather have Ant-Man than LeBron?
I didn't say that. I didn't
think you
say
did.
in place.
I think you
I didn't
did
say
say
in
that.
place
You did
of.
say it.
I didn't say in
You did
place.
say that.
I didn't say in place of LeBron.
Yeah.
I said if we had him. I didn't say.
You want to put come on? You want to put
On
him with
top
LeBron?
of?
What's wrong with that?
So you think LeBron would have deferred to him?
Yeah, LeBron will just say, here, you
Yeah,
do
because
it.
the thing is, but here's what I'm gonna tell you. Here's what I'm gonna say based on that. Paul, he'll check LeBron with no problem at all.
No, he ain't doing
No, he'll check LeBron with no problem at all.
Not.
He is. I'm telling
no
you.
fourth-year player
Man.
checking LeBron like
The way he speaks,
man, he's speaking to the
like
other
he said
team.
about Kevin Durant.
He's speaking to the other team.
I love
though.
Kevin Durant, but I'm getting ready to gut him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he going there. He ain't going there. He ain't about to be like this. Me, this
Okay.
my squad, LeBron.
Okay.
Move to the side.
Okay.
I mean, come on. He can say that to Cat Towns because Cat Towns ain't won in this league. But are you coming into a locker room with LeBron?
But LeBron's smart enough to defer to him, though, because he's smart enough to defer to him.
He wouldn't even become who he is if he was on a team with LeBron, first off.
Interesting.
He wouldn't be developed like
hard.
this.
When we get him, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right. So,
Because he need to be in L.A.
What he said to Karl Anthony Towns after the game was, he said, I told him in the first quarter, stop effing fouling. Like, he has become the team leader because he told him, we can't win without you because they don't have an answer for you. And so what does Karl Anthony end up doing? He scores 28 on 11 of 17 shots. Well,
See, that's that dog in him, though, right there, though. That's what I like.
I can't think of a young player right now in the NBA that plays with this mentality. Like,
No.
I really can't. I mean, it's not only the game, it's his voice, it's his flair, it's his charisma. He's showing you all the intangibles of I want to be the best player in the NBA. Not tomorrow, right now. And he's making a statement across the league, and trust me, everyone is listening. Everyone is watching. Kevin Durant said, "You're my favorite player to watch."
That's what he said.
After the game.
Yep.
So people are watching this kid, and I know we don't expect Minnesota to win it this year, but we better start taking them serious.
So why can't Minnesota win it?
It's just when you look at a team that you're featuring a young star, you didn't know, you saw it coming, but you didn't see it coming this fast, I believe, the development of a guy who you could arguably, we've been on here talking about he can be the face of the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's just like matured beyond what you normally see a young player in his second playoff go-around.
But it's not, the lights aren't too bright for him, though.
But you just don't know. You don't know. He hasn't had a deep playoff run. So the more he moves on in the playoffs, the more we'll learn about him.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? But just to have this small sample size of coming in and sweeping a player like Kevin Durant is a great start.
Yeah.
To moving in that direction of like saying, hey, I'm the guy, move over, league. It's time for me to, Ant-Man's in town.
Okay.
And so,
might he say that to the Denver Nuggets? And don't they have them next?
I mean, Skip, the way listen, right, you know, we all think, I mean, we see what Joker's doing to the Lakers. And we're like, this may be the one guy, the one team that can take that take the Denver Nuggets down. Because when I look across the board, yeah, we've watched OKC and what Shea's done, but we're looking like New Orleans is really not, no Zion, you know, we're taking them light too. And then you look around, you see the Clippers in Dallas. I mean, we don't know. I mean, but this right here in Minnesota, what we seeing, this is different. You saying this is different. Yeah, you got Harden, Kyrie, Paul George, Luka Doncic, but this kid can take this team to the stratosphere.
See, I wouldn't discount Skip that they can beat Minnesota. I mean, beat Denver. I think they can.
Well, they're the #1 defensive team. We hadn't even talked about that.
And they only lost first place out of like one game. They could have easily been the #1 team in the West.
Okay.
It's time to start putting some respect on this Minnesota team. Obviously, we're respecting Ant-Man. I mean, top to bottom, they have all the pieces, Skip. You got a veteran guard who's steady as they come, Mike Conley.
It feels like he's been playing for 30 years.
Yeah, he's as steady as they come.
No, I know.
Yeah.
And then you got star power. Yeah. Superstar power in Ant. And then Anthony Towns is a perennial all-star. Double-double machine.
Hey, Jaden McDaniels can play.
And Jaden
6'9", and look what he gave him last night. He gave him 18, just 18. Quiet 18, right?
They gave him over 100. They gave him over $100 million for a reason.
Yeah.
Like when he signed, I was like, who is that? Like when he signed that deal, I was like, who was that? I see who it is now, and I see why they gave him that money. But top to bottom, this team is a true contender.
And then they bring in a 7-footer who can just stroke threes, Naz Reid.
And Rudy Gobert, you're not the most overrated player in the league. No, you're not. You're a double-double machine, and you sew up the middle, and there's a reason they're the #1 team in the league on defense. And he's the main reason.
All right, I'm going to give Phoenix this. They did lose Grayson Allen, who led the league in three-point shooting, but he was not going to make a difference in this series.
That wasn't going to push the needle.
When he was on the floor, Skip, he was about 1 for 39, man. Stop.
He wouldn't push the needle.
But he did lead the league in three-point shooting because he was in a sweet spot with those three guys.
Once he got his money.
And that seemed to be the end of it.
He would have been out there. That would have been him guard Anthony Edwards, and Edwards would have probably averaged 46 instead of 40.
Might have. And now that he got his money, now they've got money, trouble everywhere. They're hamstrung, man. I don't know where they go.
I don't know where they go. That's why I said maybe you have to explore trading Kevin Durant
or Bradley
Beal.
Yeah.
Because he's getting older, and you still got a young Devin Booker you can build around.
Yeah.
We'll give him D'Lo. We'll give him Austin Reeves, Rui.
And then you're going to have the oldest team in the league.
That's okay.
You got to get younger. Do you see what's happening? It's the young teams. You got to get younger and more athletic.
We'll still do it.
And then next year, Joe Morant's coming back.
Keyshawn, the Lakers aren't out of it yet.
They will be. They will be.
They're not out of it yet.
Yeah, come on, man.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.